Here is my prayer today, that the words that we are going to study will encourage each one of us. As we are living in the world full of discouragement, as Jesus Christ once said, in this world you have tribulation, but of good cheer, I have overcome the world. So the title seems to be very intriguing and it seems to be accepted by majority, that no pain, no gain. Jesus Christ, in his parable recorded in Luke chapter 16, if you have your Bibles with you, you might have noticed that the personality that he used in this parable is said to be the child of the world, or belong to the children of the world. But one thing that Christ mentioned about this individual in Luke chapter 16, he is wiser than the children of the light. Of course, not primarily the reason why he is wise because he served God. He served the money. No, it's not. Because Jesus Christ said in the same chapter, we cannot serve God and mammon. We cannot serve two masters. And we cannot also say that this individual is being lauded by Christ or being praised by Christ because he is a faithful servant. He is not. He squandered the goods of his master, according to the story. He was accused to the master that this steward of yours is no good because he squandered your goods. So therefore, he is not trustworthy of the goods of others. And if he is not trustworthy of the goods of others, Jesus Christ said he is not trustworthy to be entrusted with his own goods. And this individual is not also faithful in dealing with the unrighteous mammon. Not wise. If he is not wise in dealing with the unrighteous mammon, so Jesus Christ said, so therefore, he could not be wise if he would be entrusted of spiritual things. But the thing that made this individual wise is his strategic plan. The strategic plan that seemed to be very workable for him, because he said, if my master is going to fire me, I cannot dig pit, and I am also ashamed to beg. So this is what I'm going to do. The story tells us that he went to the debtors of his master and asked, how many did you owe to my master? And he said, like 100 measures of oil. And he said, sit down and write 50. And to the other one, he said, how much do you owe to my master? He said, 100. And he said, sit down and write 80. Thinking that when he will be fired, this individual whom he had dealt with kindly will have a place for him to stay. And because of this, the master of the house said, this fellow is shrewd. And the bottom part, the children of this world is wiser than the children of the light. So I beg you, your pardon, I'm going to use some personalities. They might not be well-known Christians, or they might not be Christians. They might be termed as worldly, but something we can learn to support the title of our sermon, No Pain, No Gain. Look at this first personality. Of course, so that's our text. Pain is a pleasant term, very unpleasant. I don't know if you recognize the picture on the screen. His name is Woolworth. You know him?
Yes.
He owns a chain of store. And once upon a time, this biggest name, before he started his business, have worked in dry goods. And know what the boss said of him? He lacked the sense needed in dealing with the customer. Very painful, unpleasant words. Lacked senses in dealing with the customer. How about that individual? Do you know him? You know him? He's Soichiro Honda. Is this a Japanese Dr. Jack or Japanese? Yeah? The billion-dollar business that is Honda began with a series of failures and fortunate turns of luck. Honda was turned down by Toyota Motor Corporation for a job after interviewing for a job as an engineer and leaving him jobless for quite some time. He started making scooters of his own at home, and he was spurned by his neighbors. A painful experience. Spurned by his neighbor. What about this individual? Do you know him? What's his name? Walt Disney. Today, Walt Disney rakes in billions from merchandise, movies, and theme parks around the world. But Walt Disney himself had a bit of rough start. He was fired by a newspaper editor because one reason, he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. Painful statement, unpleasant. After that, Disney started a number of businesses and did not last too long and ended with bankruptcy and failure. But he kept on plugging on. He kept on plugging on and eventually found a recipe for success that works. About this fellow. You know him? Let me see if I know him. Oh, yeah. There he is. Yeah. You know Albert Einstein, right? But he started speaking when he was 4 years old and started reading when he was 7 years old. And some other people think that he is mentally incapacitated, antisocial, and very slow. What happened to him? Albert Einstein. He was expelled from school and was refused admittance to the Swiss Polytechnic School. It might have taken him a bit longer, but most people would agree that he caught on pretty well in the end, winning the Nobel Prize and changing the face of modern physics. That's Albert Einstein. Let's try, if you know this individual. Do you know him? Not too familiar? His name is Robert Sternberg. This big name in psychology received a C grade in his first college introductory to psychology class, with his teacher telling him that there was already a famous Sternberg in psychology, and it was not obvious that there would be another. So Sternberg showed him, however, graduating from Stanford with exceptional distinction in psychology, and that is summa cum laude, and become later the president of American Psychological Association. About this one. You know him?
Her.
You know her? Yeah. Oprah. He was an iconic face on TV, as well as one of the richest and most successful women in the world, right? Oprah faced a hard road to get to that position, however, enduring a rough and often abusive childhood, as well as numerous career setbacks, including being fired from her job as television reporter because she was unfit for TV. Unpleasant statement. And about that, so you know him? Not very familiar to you? So his name is Aiko Mureta. Aiko Mureta might not be known, but how about the Sony company? Yeah? Very well known, Sony company. Sony's first product was rice cooker. And unfortunately did not cook rice so much as burn it. And selling less than 100 units. These first setbacks did not stop Moreta and his partners as they pushed forward to create a multi-billion dollar company, the Sony company. And how about that one? Does she have some setbacks, some failures? Yes. Gates didn't seem like a shoo-in for success after dropping out of Harvard and starting a failed first business with Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen called the Traf-O-Data. While this early idea didn't work, Gates later worked it, creating the global empire that is Microsoft. And about this next individual, do you know him? Harlan David Sanders. Who is he? Yeah? Oh, the Kentucky chicken thing, yeah? It's a tax. Yeah. But look, before he reached that fame, he submitted his famous secret chicken recipe to several restaurants and was rejected, you know how many times? 1,009 times. 1,009 times before the restaurant accepted that secret recipe. No pain, no gain. And about this fellow, you know him? Do you? Yeah, Thomas Edison. How many times did he fail in inventing the light bulb? He failed 1,000 times. And for him, those failures aren't failures at all. Because to him, he discovered 1,000 wrong way of making the light bulb. No pain, no gain. Thomas Edison. What about this fellow? His name is Winston Churchill. This Nobel Prize winning, twice elected Prime Minister of the United Kingdom wasn't always as well regarded as he is today. Churchill struggled in school and failed the 6th grade. After school, he faced many years of political failures, as he was defeated in every election for public office until he finally became the Prime Minister at the ripe old age of 62. He did not give up. Did not give up. And how about this personality? You know him, right?
Yes.
The one that will hang on the cross. His name is Jesus Christ. Unpleasant terms found in Isaiah chapter 53 verse 3 that is connected with Jesus Christ. The word despised. So just like some other people that we have just read the story, some of them were despised, slow, mentally incapacitated, not fit for TV, and some other. Here's the one, Jesus Christ. If you open your Bible in Isaiah 53, he grew up like a tender plant, and like a root in the desert, without form, that he should be desired of. Very unpromising personality. When you look at him, let's try to be very careful in saying words of judgment to anyone. We don't know. The one that we pass over when we go up will be the one that we are going to meet when we go down. Let's be careful, because we do not know the future. He was despised. And about this word, rejected. Is it a pleasant term? No, it is very unpleasant. Rejected. Have you ever been rejected? How does it feel? It feels very embarrassing and very humiliating, right? My wife is here. And before I met her, I was related to a woman of an older age than my age. And as a matter of fact, she was already teaching in high school or elementary grades when I met her, and we had a relationship. But I was rejected by the family because I am nobody. Not a high school, not a college graduate. Doesn't have a good financial support. And it felt so bad. Jesus Christ was rejected. And the term attached to him is, he is a man of sorrow. And acquainted with grief. So the word grief, that's a painful statement. When somebody died in the family, then we experience grief. When we lost valuable things in our house, we experience grief. And Jesus Christ was acquainted with grief. And as one from whom men hide their faces, he was not only rejected, not only a man of sorrow, but he was despised, and we did not esteem him properly. Surely, another text in Isaiah chapter 53, he had borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. That's an unpleasant term, brothers and sisters. Carried our sorrows. Yet we did not esteem him. But we did esteem him stricken. We misjudged him. That the suffering that he had experience because he did not obey God. He get away at the right path. We esteem him being smitten of God and afflicted of God, misjudged him. Verse 5. He was wounded. That's very painful. For our transgression. He was bruised for our iniquities. And the chastisement of our peace was upon him. Very unpleasant statement. How about that? He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He was in prison. A very unpleasant statement. An unpleasant experience too. But look, verse 11. Verse 11 says, I have seen the travail of my soul, and was satisfied, and will be satisfied. It's a prophecy. I have seen the travail of my soul, and shall be satisfied. That terminology is there. That word, and shall be satisfied. I consider it as a pleasant word. I don't know if you know this individual by the name of Nicholas Winton. Have you heard about him? No? Have you heard about the 1.5 million children victim of Holocaust in Israel? When you go to Jerusalem, when you go to Israel, so there was a museum there where they have some horrible pictures of the Holocaust, of killing 1.5 million children. But this Nicholas Winton was successful in helping about 669 Jewish children. He transported them, escaped them to Britain, and tried to help find parents, British parents, for the children. And this secret was not divulged until after 50 years, when one day his wife went into the attic and tried to clean the part of the place and saw an album. And when she opened, she had seen these pictures of 600 plus Jewish children. What are pictures? And the wife went to the television program, to the TV, and endorsed it to the one that was in charge of the TV program, and probably that person tried to locate, because there are the pictures there and the names, endeavor to locate, and this Nicholas Winton was invited to a certain television program, and it was attended by many people, and he was just surprised in one of the parts of the program that many stood up and clapped their hands and tell him, thank you very much. These people that surrounds him were once upon a time the children that he helped escape the place in Germany. Wow. And went somewhere in Britain. That makes him very happy. Jesus Christ has the same kind of motivation. Yes, it did not happen. It did not happen. He had We are still waiting for the new earth and the new heaven to be established. We are still waiting for the New Jerusalem to come. But in the knowledge of Jesus Christ, in His knowledge, according to Isaiah chapter 11, chapter 53, verse 11, we are told this statement. He shall see the labor of his soul. He shall see the labor of his soul. In some other translation, use the word travail. The labor of his soul, and be satisfied. The time of the glorious salvation has not yet come, but Jesus Christ have seen it already, and He was satisfied. And this satisfaction that He has, He made Him despise all the rejections, all the bruises, all the wounds, and all those negative statements, unpleasant statements that He underwent, because He has seen the travail of His soul. Verse 5 of Isaiah 53, we are told, and by His stripes we are healed. This word healed, the healing of the people because of His sufferings, is a very pleasant statement in the ears of everybody. By His stripes we are healed. I know the heart of Christ when He made His sacrifice painful. But when He looked up, first, this 144,000 gathered together, surrounding Him, while He was sitting on the throne, the 144,000 that praised His name because of the salvation that He gave them, made Him go on with a plan of salvation. Amen. I do not know one of us will be part of the 144,000. How I wish. Mrs. White desired to be part of, but she died before the coming of Jesus Christ. So one of the significant identification of the 144,000 according to the book of Revelation, they have not tasted death. So meaning when Christ will come, they will be alive. I do not know if this is an exact number. Even Seventh-day Adventist theologians are divided along this line, even during the time of Mrs. White. But Mrs. White said, let's just endeavor to be part of this 144,000. They are they that wear the robe of righteousness of Jesus Christ. Wash the robe and make it white by the blood of the Lamb. That's what Mrs. White said. And not only that 144,000. Look at this. Revelation chapter 7 verse 9. If this group of people called the great multitude will be different from the 144,000 individuals that will be saved, look at them. Their number, they cannot be numbered. The great multitude, I do not know how many thousands, but this is prophecy, brothers and sisters. Yes, we can see people of the world today seems to be not interested in hearing the gospel message. But we are given this panoramic view of what will happen in the future. There will be numbers of people that will be saved. Multitudes of people that cannot be numbered that will be saved and accept the great tidings of salvation. Mrs. White has to say something about this. In Adventist home, when he said, "Then I saw Jesus lead the redeemed company to the gate of the city." When you read your Adventist home, in the last chapter 87, I think, the last chapter of 88 Adventist home, you will encounter there the description of events that Mrs. White have seen. The saints, together with Jesus Christ, will descend to earth. And when they step on that great mountain, which cannot bear Jesus Christ, that great mountain becomes plain. And then the New Jerusalem descended to that plain. And here comes Mrs. White seeing Jesus Christ. Then I saw Jesus led the redeemed company to the gate of the city. This 144,000, this great multitude, being led by Jesus Christ to the gate of the golden city. So we know the gate we know Jerusalem, right? The New Jerusalem, made out of precious stones, streets of gold. There is the tree of life, and there's the river of life flowing. So Jesus Christ, in the vision of Mrs. White, he saw Jesus leading the saint unto the gate of the city. He laid hold of the gate and swore